count even at 1.
I'd say most seasons they end up with about 100 runs more than their opponents. This year they've got twice as many almost. 200 runs. Almost more than their opponents.
Well, that may be
over 200 runs more.
In part reflect the long ball. Not only the home runs, it seems to me they've hit a lot of doubles and triples.
Well, and they've also received 293 walks in 49 games.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's almost 6 a game.
Yeah.
It is 6 a game. 2-1 the count now to Pozos. Spezio comes home with the pitch, and it's laced into left field. It's going to be in there for a base hit. It's going to the wall. Left fielder comes up with it. Spezio rounds first, and he'll trot into a second base with a stand-up double. That was a line shot, about 5 or 6 feet fair. And the Crabs now with the runner in scoring position at second base with 1 out, and that will bring up James Outman.
Outman comes in at 372. He's played in 47 of the 49 games. There's nobody who's played in all 49 games for the Crabs, but Outman's played in the most with 47.
The pitch to him is taken for a called strike 1. I was mentioning in the first game that Pozos has the second most at-bats on the team next to Outman. Outman leads the club in at-bats, but Pozos second in that department. Bryan takes his lead at second base. The pitcher glances back and comes to Outman, and he fouls it off to the left and out of play. So Spezio ahead on the count now. No balls and 2 strikes to the leading Crabs hitter and the guy who's done the catching in all the recent games. Throughout this tournament, I think he's caught all the games, hasn't he?
He didn't catch this early game today.
The pitch. Fouled off to the left and out of play. That's right. Thurber caught the opener today.
And then on Friday night, Thurber caught until he got hurt.
Yeah. That's right. It was good to find him okay.
Yeah.
I was scared he was going to be out for the final 2 games. Spezio at the set. Once again, the 0-2 pitch. Curveball got him looking. Good pitch. Outman down on strikes. There are 2 gone. That'll bring up Jason Newman, right hand hitting first baseman. Newman, the cleanup hitter, hitting at 302 as we begin play. Newman obliterates the batter's box that the lineskeeper took such care in putting together. Jason goes up there and kicks dirt out. Talk about digging in. Jason Newman does it. 1 ball the count to Newman. Pozos leads from second. Spezio comes to the plate with a fastball on the outside corner.
That was a dart.
For a strike. Yeah, that was a dart, and it was also a dart on the black. I mean, that was right on the corner. 1-1 to Newman. The next pitch, fouled off to the right and out of play. One and 2 now to Newman. Trying to pick up Pozos, whose 1-out double has him on second base. There are now 2 gone. At the set, the pitch, ground ball to the second baseman. He is up with it, and the throw to first to retire Newman, and the Crabs are gone in the first inning. No runs, there was a hit, no errors, 1 left, and at the end of an inning, we're scoreless. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka. All right, welcome back to the ballpark. Benjamin, when we meet again on the microphones come June, we'll have a new president. Not only of the country, but of the Humboldt Crabs.
That's correct.
I don't know who that'll be yet in either case, but a changing of the guard occurring. Victoria Rossi ending her 3-year stint as president, and the board will be electing a new president, and of course the country will be electing a new president come November. Here's Kyle Dixon, right-handed hitting third baseman to stand in, and the first pitch from Ralston is hit in the air to right center field. Center fielder coming over hard, running, and he dives. He's not going to get it. It goes to the wall. Rounding first and heading to second is Dixon. He'll pull in with a double. A good effort on the part of Bush. He dove for it, but just, I think it glanced off his glove.
It did, yeah.
Got a glove on
nice
it.
job by Cirillo to get over there and back him up, too.
Right. So Dixon, a leadoff double. That's the first hit of the ball game for the Wildcats. And that'll bring up the catcher, Mike Phelan. Phelan, right-handed hitter. Ralston at the belt, and the pitch to Phelan. Fastball rides high, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Misses outside, 2-0. Ralston walked the bases loaded in the first, but got out of it with a big strikeout of Taylor Field to end the inning. The pitch. Way outside. A good block by Outman to prevent it from going to the backstop. It's 3-0. The 3-0 pitch, right down the heart of the plate, 3-1. Three and one, the count to Phelan. The pitch. High, ball 4. Phelan trots down to first. It does set up the double play. That's the positive. The negative is that's his 4th walk in an inning and a third. So the plate definitely doing a dance for Ryan Ralston.
Yeah, that's the 4th walk he's issued in not even 2 innings.
Yeah. 1 inning plus, to be exact. Nobody out. Everybody's coming in expecting a bunt. He shows bunt and instead takes a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Ryan Ralston can bring it. I mean, his heater is flaming.
He just needs to harness it a little better.
Yeah. Corner infielders are in. Batter shows bunt, tries to bunt, misses, strike 2. This is Taylor Anglahoman, the second baseman, and he's behind on the count to Ryan Ralston now. No balls and 2 strikes. I think Ralston just can pour it into this guy. Don't mess around. He gets the sign from Outman from the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball is hit foul off to the right and out of play. So we'll do it again, 0-2 to Anglahoman. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball gets by the catcher and goes to the backstop.
Pass ball.
That was a high pitch, but it glanced off of Outman's glove, so it will go as a pass ball. And now Dixon is at third. Phelan is at second. The count 1-2 to Anglahoman. Nobody out, and we go to the top of the order next. Infield now coming in all the way around. Working from the stretch now. Ralston's pitch gets by the catcher, but there's no advance. That was a wild pitch. The count now 2-2. Outman scurried after that one quickly to prevent Dixon from coming in from third. Two and two to Anglo-Homan. Ralston would like his second strikeout right about now. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off to the right again. So Anglo-Homan making Ralston throw strikes, and he's been having trouble doing that. All right, Anglo-Homan back into the batter's box. Ralston comes to the set. The pitch. Misses outside and low, 3-2. Three and two to Anglo-Homan. Big pitch here early in the ball game. At the set. The 3-2 pitch. Lined into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to score one. It's going to score two. A solid single to right by Anglo-Homan. That's a very good at bat on his part.
Sure
he fouled
was.
off some really tough pitches, and then a solid opposite field single. And the Auburn Wildcats do something they were unable to do early last night, and that is take the lead with 2 runs here in the top of the second inning. And now they got a runner on at first and nobody out. And the top of the order, Sam Lee Curtis coming to the bat. A double, a walk, and a single, and it's 2-0 in favor of the Wildcats. Ralston at the set. The pitch. High with a fastball, 1-0. Curtis grounded out short to first to start the ball game. Modest lead at first by Anglo-Homan. The pitch to Curtis. Strike 2 called. Fastball. Excuse me, strike 1. It's 1-1 now to Curtis. Ralston comes to the plate, misses with a fastball wide, 2-1. A lot of pitcher catcher. He's walked 4, he's fanned 1. Throw to first base, and it gets away from the first baseman. And hustling down to second is Anglo-Homan, and that'll be an error on the throw, I believe.
Absolutely.
So an error on the pitcher allows Anglo-Homan to get into scoring position. The count 2 balls and a strike to Sam Lee Curtis. There's nobody out here in the second. 2 have already come across for the Wildcats. Ralston at the belt. The pitch. High, 3-1.
I hope they got somebody in the bullpen. They do.
They now have a right-hander throwing in the Crab's pen. Gomez, maybe? 3-1 to Curtis. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That was probably ball 4. Got him to chase a pitch low and away. So a break there. 3-2 now to Curtis. Anglo-Homan at second, nobody out. The 3-2 to Curtis. Ground ball to the shortstop. He's got it. Hamilton to first for the out. On the play, Anglo-Homan moves to third. That'll bring up Austin Blatnick. walked and got as far as third base last inning. Crab infield now in all the way around. Try and keep Anglo-Holman at third base, not let him score. The pitch to Blatnick is a good one. Strike called. Outside part of the plate, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. That breaking ball misses wide, 1-1. Right-hander versus right-hander. Ralston rocks into the windup and the pitch. High and tight, 2-1. So Ralston choosing to work from the windup with the runner at third. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Just misses a little bit wide, 3-1. Hitters count for Blatnick, the 3-1 pitch. Strike called, inside corner, at the belt, 3-2. Ralston's payoff pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. He looks the runner back to third and throws to first. Hamilton executes the play perfectly, and the defensive strategy works to perfection. There are 2 down. Now it'll take a base knock by Ethan Joyce to plate Anglo-Holman at third base. The pitch to Joyce in the dirt, a good block by Outman, 1-0. Ralston's 1-0 pitch. Joe, strike called. First base umpire said he could win around. It's 1-1. So Joyce couldn't hold up that time. Ralston's 1-1. Curveball outside corner. That was a beauty. So now Ralston ahead on the count. A ball and 2 strikes to the number 3 hitter in the Wildcats order, Ethan Joyce. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one, strike 3 called. Outside corner at the knees. Joyce down on strikes. The second strikeout of the ball game for Ralston. The Wildcats settle for 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 left on base. And at the end of an inning and a half, it's the Wildcats 2, the Crabs nothing. Crabs baseball, KGOE 1480, Arcadia, Eureka.
All right, we're back. Bottom of the second inning. Crabs trailing by 2. It's Reynolds, Bush, and Johnson. And here's Hoke.
Thanks, Benjamin.
Now batting for your Humboldt Crabs, number 28, third baseman Ryan Reynolds.
Reynolds hitting from the left side against Dylan Spezio, the right-hander. Crabs stranded Pozos after a one-out double at second base in the first inning. The first pitch to Reynolds is taken for a called strike one. Spezio's 0-1 pitch. Curveball is grounded just fair to the first baseman. He takes one step and tags the bag. Reynolds retired, first baseman unassisted. That'll bring up Logan Bush, center fielder.
Comes in batting .275 with a .444 on base percentage. Good numbers.
Logan almost hit by that pitch, breaking ball, and backed him away, 1-0.
He's walked 31 times and has only struck out 24 times this season.
Fastball away, 2-0. Fastball is low, so 3 balls and no strikes. Outside, ball 4. So on 4 pitches, Logan Bush draws a free pass. And that'll bring up Newt Johnson. Johnson serving as the designated hitter in this ball game. Newt, big right-handed hitter. Bush at first base. Johnson represents the potential tying run at the plate.
Batting .266.
Throw to first base and diving safely back is Bush. Taylor Field holding Bush on at first base. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, and it's blocked by Phelan, ball 1. So now Spezio having some control issues of his own. 5 consecutive balls. Here's the 1-0 to Johnson. That one's fouled at the plate. A ball and a strike. Spezio at the set. The 1-1. Well outside with a slider. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Curveball, and excuse me, check swing. Fouled over to the first base coach, Andy Bersinger. And the count even at 2-2. Mason Cirillo in the on-deck area. Throw to first base, and again, safely back is Bush. Bush edges off. The 2-2 pitch to Johnson inside with a fastball, 3-2. So Ralston giving up a number of walks to the Wildcats. Spezio in danger of walking 2 in a row here. The 3-2 pitch, fouled back. Looked like he took something off of that one. Johnson hung in there. So it's 3-2 again. Bush goes. The pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second base, and he is safe. So Bush steals second as Johnson strikes out. Second out of the inning, but the Crabs now have a runner in scoring position for Mason Cirillo.
Cirillo batting .243.
Left-handed hitter. Takes one away. That pitch was low and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Cirillo.
He has 19 RBIs.
The 1-0 pitch. Oh, it bounces at the plate. A good block by Phelan to prevent it from going to the backstop, and the count is 2-0. Well, I have to think Krusty did go into hibernation. We have not seen him.
I haven't seen Krusty in over a week.
2-0 to Cirillo.
I heard he went down to Rio.
Just misses outside with a fastball. 3-0. What's going on there?
Got himself some Olympic tickets and cut town.
I hope he's got vaccinated. Here's the 3-0. That's in there for a called strike one. Spezio comes home 3-1, and it's fouled off to the left near where Mason Thielander is having his warm-up swings. Three and 2 to Cirillo. High, ball 4. So the Crabs now with a couple of gifts, pair of walks, and it'll be up to Thielander, who has been hitting well of late. 2 on, 2 gone.
All the way up to 278 now.
He has had a tremendous second half.
He sure has.
The pitch to Thielander is high, 1-0. Oh, balk is called. A balk is called on Spezio, allowing Bush to go to third and Cirillo to second, and now a base hit off the bat of Thielander could tie this baby up. A little conference on the mound between the battery mates Phelan and Spezio. They were talking about the balk, and now the third base umpire, Michael Cowan, who made the call, is explaining to them why the balk was called. So the tying run's at second base. Bush is at third. 2 outs, and here's Thielander. The pitch is, high over his head. 1-0. And suddenly Spezio's having trouble locating the plate. The 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a called strike. 1-1 to the number 9 hitter for the Crabs, Mason Thielander. Chance to tie it up with a base knock here. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, third base by the third baseman. Here comes one run, here comes the tying run. Thielander rounds first and holds after a big turn. So Thielander ties it up with a shot just fair down the third base line and into left field. It's 2-2. So Spezio has no one to blame but himself. 2 walks, and they both came in to score on the single by Thielander. That's only the second hit of the ball game for the Crabs.
Ground ball right over the third base bag.
Perfect. Here's Hamilton, and David takes a pitch low. Fastball, 1-0. So Thielander now at first with 2 down. The pitch to Hamilton, down low, 2-0. So the Wildcats unable to produce that shutdown inning. Crabs have come back and knotted it up, equal to 2 at the top of this frame. There's a fastball low, 3-0. Whereas Ralston's 3 walks in the first inning ended up not hurting him. Walks here have been costly. There's another ball. So Hamilton trots to first. And that's going to bring the manager across the foul line to have a talk with his pitcher, Dylan Spezio. While he does that, let's thank Patty Stokeham with Remax Realty. Patty's been a Crab sponsor and supporter for more than 20 years. She's been selling real estate for just as long, and she will handle all the legwork for you and cover all the bases. Give her a call at 496-3295. You can find her on Myrtle Avenue, in Eureka. That's Patty Stokeham of Remax Realty. All right, the conference has broken up. And we're ready to go.
Second baseman, Brian Pozos.
Here's the pitch to Pozos. Breaking ball misses 1-0. Pozos, a double in the first inning, was stranded. And the pitch to Pozos is grounded just foul outside the third base bag. We have 3 base hits, not 2. We had a base hit in the first inning and then 2 in the second in this inning.
I thought Hamilton walked.
Oh, did he? I thought
Yeah, I know Hamilton walked.
He walked. Okay. All right. Okay. A ball and a strike now to Pozos. Thielander at second. Hamilton at first. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Pozos doesn't go around. Now first base umpire Dan Osborne said he did not. So the count is 2-1 to Pozos. The Crabs have tied it with 2. Scoreboard says 2-1. I think the umpire says 3-1. Let's see. The next pitch is ball 4. So Pozos trots down to first base. Everybody else moves up 90 feet. And the bases are full of crustaceans for James Outman, who leads the club in hitting. Outman called out on strikes last inning. Looks like Spezio is going to go from the windup. And the pitch. Misses wide, 1-0.
Well, boys, I'd settle in if I was you. Hope you brought your sleeping bag. It's going to be a game. I love the popping that Simpsons. Okay, boys.
Here's the 1-0. High with a fastball, 2-0. There is nowhere to put James Outman. A walk puts the Crabs in the lead. So we got a hitter's count here for Outman, 2-0. Spezio's got to come in. The 2-0 pitch. High ball 3, so he doesn't come in. And now 1 pitch away from James Outman picking up a very easy run batted in. Four walks in this inning. The 3-0 pitch, that's in there for a called strike. 3-1. The 3-1 pitch, fouled off to the left. And I think he swung at a pitch outside the zone. But the count is full now, 3-2 to Outman. The Crab runners will be off with the pitch. And since he's going from a windup, they're going to get a huge jump. Spezio rocks into the windup, and the Crabs are going. The pitch is swung on and hit foul down the left field line. It'll be out of play. Well out of play. So the runners will retrace their steps, go back to their respective bases, and we'll do it again, 3-2. Spezio is set. The 3-2 pitch lined to the second baseman. So he hit it right on the nail, but right to second baseman Anglo-Homan to end the inning. For the Crabs, 2 runs on how many hits? 1 hit? 1 hit?
No, I don't think any hits.
1 hit. Thielander had a hit. 4 walks, that was the difference. So at the end of 2 innings, we're tied 2-2. You listen to Crabs Baseball, KGOE 1480 Arcadia, Eureka. Not at the top of my game. You want to do next inning?
Sure. We're gonna have a new picture. Let's go ahead.
Is it Gomez?
No, I think it's Petito actually. In fact, I don't even see Gomez on the. Gomez isn't even on the list.
Oh.
Petito. Merrick Petito.
30.
Now on the mound, the Humboldt Crabs, number 30, Merrick Petito.
All right, welcome back to the ballpark. Top of the 3rd inning, a new pitcher on the mound for the Crabs. It's number 30, Merrick Petito, on in relief of Ryan Ralston, who just couldn't get the ball over the plate, essentially. Petito comes in with a record of 0-2 and ERA of 4.30 in 11 appearances, all in relief. He pitched 14 2/3 innings, giving up 12 hits, walked 6, and struck out 15.
But that's not all you need to know about Merrick Petito, because earlier in the day, he won a watermelon eating contest.
He also sang the national anthem.
And he
this
sang
morning
the national anthem.
at
so
2 o'clock.
Big day.
Yeah.
Jack Vasey to lead it off, and here's the professor, Benjamin Schaefer.
And so Vasey popped to first in his first at bat. Tied at 2 in the top of the 3rd inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Feral Felines. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Crabs. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. Oh, and 1 the count. Petito into the windup, and that one's hit in the air down the right field line. Cirillo giving chase, and it's going to fall fair. On his way to second is VC. Here comes the throw in. It's not going to be in time. That's a double. Just lofted it down the right field line about 3/4 of the way out there, and it fell about 1.5 feet fair. So VC out at second with nobody out, and here's Faulkner, who walked in his first appearance.
Number 24, Jake Faulkner.
Petito looks out at second, sets, and comes home with a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. One to count. And the pitch. That one's lined into right center field. That is going to be into the gap. VC will score easily as the ball bounces up against the fence. Faulkner coming in the second. Back-to-back doubles have given the Wildcats the lead here, 3-2. Here's Field. Struck out in his first at bat. Tito looks in for the sign. Now he sets. Here's the pitch. That one's looped out to shallow right field. Going back is Pozos. It's going to drop. Faulkner will go to third and hold there. So a little bloop single. Puts runners on the corners. Nobody out for Dixon now, who doubled in his first at bat. So 3 straight hits now have given the Wildcats the lead.
First 2 were hit hard. That was just a little
That
dunker.
was just he got a fastball in the hands and just hit it barely hard enough to get it out on the grass. But Pozos couldn't catch up with it. Here's Kyle Dixon. 3 doubles in the game now, though, for the Wildcats.
And this batter's had one of them, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Runners on the corners. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. And now Petito. Wow, I haven't seen that in a long time.
That's
A fake
illegal
for-
now. It's illegal now in
In the major leagues,
in the
that's
major leagues.
fake from third to first. The 0-1. Fastball misses high, 1-1. I thought it was illegal at this level too, actually, but apparently not.
Well, Don Hofacker asked us to write down questions. That's one to ask him.
A ball and a strike is the count. And the pitch is a breaking pitch on the inside corner. Good pitch, 1-2. Faulkner at third, Field at first, nobody out. A run in here in the third inning for the Wildcats. There's a grounder out to shortstop. The runner's coming in. They're going to go to second for one, back to first for the 6-4-3 double play. Faulkner comes in to make it 4-2 in favor of the Farrell Felines. Nice double play by the Crabs.
No RBI on the double play, but the run counts just as much.
Yes, it does. Here's the catcher, Phelan. Nobody on, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Fastball away. The 1-0 fastball is swung on and missed. So 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. And there's a ground ball over to first base. Newman will take it to the bag himself, and that will end the inning. But they get 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and nobody left. And at the end of 2.5, it's 4-2 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats. This is Crabs Baseball, 1480 KGOE. Welcome back. Bottom of the third, it'll be Newman, Reynolds, and Bush for the Crabs, trailing 4-2 in the final game of the 2016 Humboldt Crabs season.
Cold, tasty beverage, you're in luck. The Crabs serve tasty adult beverages from multiple different local.
We have a new pitcher, I think, do we?
Yourself a drink. You can head to the beer stand next to concession.
30
No,
something.
that's, I don't-
Nope, it's still Spezio.
yeah, he's got a fairly distinctive
Delivery, yes.
It's almost like he's aiming the ball.
Yeah, well, he needs to aim a little better then,
Yeah.
because not so hot so far. 4 walks last inning.
Crabs number 6, first baseman Jason Newman.
Here's Newman, grounded to second in his first at bat. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Wildcats. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Crabs. He does look like he's aiming, you're right. And the first pitch is a breaking pitch that misses inside, 1-0 to Newman.
I'm not saying he's doing that. It just
No, I know. It
gives
appears that
look.
way,
It
though,
appears
yeah.
that way.
Here's the 1-0. Misses high with a fastball, 2-0. Got some vultures circling the ballpark now. That's not a good sign.
They're waiting for the candy toss.
I was thinking they were waiting for the last of the season's burgers to take effect. 2-0 the count.
I think they've already taken effect.
There's a ground ball out to short. Throw to first. 1 away.
Now we appreciate the victuals that are provided
No,
to
great
us in the
food.
booth.
Yeah. And so kindly presented all the time. Here's Reynolds, grounded to first in his first at bat. I go down there before the game every night and get my dinner before the game, and I nothing but friendly smiles and just a really nice crew down there.
Right. Very
Fastball misses high, 1-0.
good.
1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball away, 2-0. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the third inning. Two and 0 the count. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Yeah, giving away the last of the programs. Nice keepsake for Crabs fans. 2-1 pitch. This is high, 3-1.
You know what I didn't see this year? I understand they produced them, but I didn't see them were the player cards.
I'm sure they
They look
produced
good?
them, yeah.
Yeah.
3-1 the count. Yeah, we usually get a pack up here.
Yeah.
3-1, misses down low, ball 4. So Reynolds aboard with 1 out. That'll bring Logan Bush to the bat. He walked in his first appearance.
Batting next, number 27, center fielder Logan Bush.
Reynolds takes a short lead over at first, and the first pitch to Bush is down low. Another lovely evening. Wind blowing out towards left center. Here's the 1-0, and that one's lashed into right field for a base hit. Reynolds goes to second, and the Crabs got runners on first and second now with only 1 out. And here's Newt Johnson, the DH, struck out in his first at bat.
Got some activity in the Wildcats bullpen, a left-hander throwing out there.
Now batting number 17, designated hitter Newt Johnson.
First pitch misses low. 1-0 the count to Johnson. There's a high tapper down towards third. He's got it. He's going to step on the bag, and that's a foul ball. thought he caught it right on the bag in fair territory. How's that a foul ball? Did it hit the plate? It must have hit a home plate.
Who called it foul? The
Home plate umpire. So the count's 1-1, then the Johnson. One and one, the pitch. Fouled out of play, 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes to count. Reynolds out at second, Bush at first. Here's the pitch. And that one's in the dirt, and that's going to bounce all the way over the backstop into the back of the bleachers here behind home plate. That was, did that get somebody? That just jumped right over home plate, right off home plate, and wow, that was one mighty wild pitch.
Well, in 18 years, we've had 2 balls make it here. And
that's how.
That's how. It hit home plate, and this one almost made it to us. Big bounce over the screen.
Yeah. So you can come out from under the table now.
Okay. Safe.
1-2 the count.
Okay.
Here's the pitch. Hits him on the helmet.
Oh, my goodness. He hit him on the head.
Oh, yikes. Johnson, he's standing, but he's leaning way over. And that hit him right on the back of the head. He's going to head down to first. I think he looks okay, but boy, that is really scary. Yikes. That was a fastball, too, and that just took his helmet right off. And I'm a little surprised that...
I'm surprised they're leaving this guy in. I mean, in the last inning...
they're going to check Johnson now for signs of a concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're leaving him in. I think after that, he probably should come out.
In the last inning in the third, he has walked 5 batters and now plunked a batter. So the trainer is going through some procedures to make sure that New Johnson is able to stay in this ball game.
Yeah, they're giving him his helmet. He's okay.
Okay.
That's good news. Yeah. It's one thing when, somebody's just dangerously wild out there. It might be time to think about taking him out of the game because that plunked him right on the back of the head.
All right, bases full of crustaceans with 1 out.
Cirillo will be the hitter. He walked in his first appearance. Here's the pitch. Way high and all the way to the backstop. No advance. Luckily for the Wildcats, the backstop is very close to home plate. So the ball simply... but these pitches are not close. That was...
No, that was over his head.
That was a 6-foot high... That was... 1-0 the count to Cirillo. Swinging and a miss at a fastball. 1-1. The 1-1. Line down left field line and out of play.
That made it onto the freeway.
No, bounced against the top of the fence and fell into the netting.
Oh, I see it.
Almost, though. Only about a foot shy. So 1-2 now to Cirillo with Reynolds at third, Bush at second, Johnson at first. First baseman in on the grass. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Two away. Crabs trail by 2. A chance to tie it here. But now with 2 outs, it'll be up to Thielander, who's singled in 2 runs in his first at bat, and who has been smoking hot lately. Here's the pitch, and he takes slow. The 1-0, down and away, 2-0. In the dirt, 3-0. Dylan Spezio. He's behind 3-0 to T-Lander. And there's the pitch, and it's in the dirt. That's going to walk in a run. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks and a hit batter in only 2 2/3 innings, and that may be it now for Spezio.
They're going to the
That
pen.
is it.
Yep. Well, Benjamin, I want to say again what a pleasure it's been sharing this season with you.
Absolutely,
and,
always.
Look forward to doing it with you next year. I didn't expect to have my day end so soon, but I'm afraid I ate something early in the day that didn't agree with me, and I thought I had taken care of it, but it's acting up again, so I'm going to have to cut out a little bit early.
All right, I'll take over. Well, Hoke, it's been great, as always.
Look forward to seeing you sometime soon at
That's
the
right.
jazz concert.
Absolutely. All right, man.
Take care.
So we'll see who the who's in for Spezia. Number 29.
I sure hope so, too. Great having you.
Let's see if we can figure out who this guy is. Well, I'm sorry to see Hoke have to go early. That's really a drag, but I hope he's feeling better soon, of course. So I don't have a number. I don't know who this guy is. Do you have any idea? Number 29. We'll try to get a name on him. He's not on the lineup card anywhere.
29.
Hayden Piner. I think he started one game earlier this season against the Crabs. So Hamilton to be the hitter with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Bush at third, Johnson at second, T-Lander at first. 4-3 now in favor of the Wildcats. And here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 is fouled out of play. 0-2 is the count. Hamilton has popped to first and walked.
Oh, really?
He's got Bush at third, Johnson at second, and T-Lander at first. Here's the pitch. There's a base hit in the left field. That's going to score at least 1. Johnson's coming around. They're going to hold Johnson at third, and the game is tied now on the base hit by Hamilton. Brian Pozos will be the hitter. Still 2 outs. Bases loaded again now, and here's Pozos, who has doubled and walked. What's Piner's first name? Aiden? Hayden Piner. Piner deals, and that's fouled off the backstop. Hayden Piner. 0-1 the count now to Pozos. The 0-1 is a fastball down low, 1-1. The 1-1 is a breaking pitch in there for a called strike at the belt. 1-2 now to Pozos. Crabs have tied it here in the bottom of the third on the base hit by David Hamilton. And the 1-2 in the dirt. 2-2.
Be careful. Yeah, just have mom text it to me. Just have mom text me if you need to tell me something. And nothing will happen to mom. I'll see you at the end. Sing. Bye.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. In the air to right field. The right fielder going back. It's up over his head. It bounces against the fence. Johnson's in. T-Lander's in. Here comes Hamilton. He will score on a bases-clearing double by Brian Pozos. 7-4 Crabs. That ball just kept drifting. It didn't look like didn't appear to be hit that hard off the bat. And I don't know if it was wind aided, but it just kept going and ended up over Blatnick's head in right field and up against the fence. And that cleared the bases. So here's Outman, 0 for 2, with Pozos out at second and 2 outs. 5 runs in for the Crabs here in the bottom of the third inning. And the pitch. In the dirt all the way to the backstop, and Pozos will go to third on the wild pitch. The 1-0 to Outman. Hit in the center field, shallow. Center fielder coming in, still coming. It's going to bounce, and that's going to score another run. Outman with a bloop single brings Pozos in to make it 8-4 in favor of the Crabs. So another big inning. Crabs have been doing it all season long. Now 6 runs here in the bottom of the third, and they have doubled up the Wildcats. Here's Newman. 0 for 2. Fastball misses down and away. 1-2. The 1-2. High in the air down the right field line. First baseman going out, and nobody's going to have a play. That's going to drop foul. Harmlessly foul. 1-1 is the count. Outman is still over at first. 2 outs. 1-1 now to Newman. Here's the pitch. Misses high with a fastball. It's 2-1. Throw to first, and Outman's back sliding. I'll turn it over to you at the next half inning. You can just finish it up if you want. I'll just hang. Okay?
If you want me to.
If you want to, are you into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a game program.
Throw back to first, and they almost got him that time, but he's back safely.
Okay, awesome. Okay, sounds great.
2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Two and two the count. Here's the pitch. Misses high, 3-2.
Actually, no, because it's an updated one. Yeah.
Altman with a short lead over at first. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch, fouled out of play.
Updated new editions.
Three and two the count. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. Walked him. So Newman goes down to first, Outman to second, and here's Reynolds. They have batted around now. Reynolds led off the inning by walking, believe it or not, earlier here in the third inning. Here's the pitch. Misses high. It's 1-0. They do have another pitcher warming in their bullpen due to the Wildcats. Crab's bullpen's quiet. 1-0 the count. Runners take their lead. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1 now to Reynolds. The 1-1. Misses high. 2-1. Two-one pitch. Popped high in the air on the right side. Shallow right field. It's the right fielder calling for it now as it drifts out in the right field, and he's got it for out number 3. For the Crabs, though, they get 6 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors and 2 left, and at the end of 3, they're up 8-4. This is Crabs Baseball, 1480 KGOE. All right, Crabs fans, you know, after working 3 years in the booth with us, we're going to miss Kevin Wired after he leaves this season, but he's on to much bigger and better things. So in order to send him off, we're going to turn over the play-by-play to him for the last time this season. Kevin?
Well, thank
It's
you,
all yours.
Benjamin. Yeah, thank you a lot. And it's been a very exciting time here at the Arcata Ballpark for the Crabs as they were able to win earlier today against the Alameda Merchants and now have an 8-4 lead over the Auburn Wildcats, the championship game, the final game of the season, both for the Humble Invitational Tournament and on the Crab season. So Tanner Angley Holmes will lead things off. He's 1 for 1 with a couple of RBIs. Hits a fly ball into deep center field, and it's going to split the gap. Going over to cut it off in center is going to be Logan Bush, and standing at second with a leadoff double is Tanner Angley Holmes to begin the top of the 4th inning. So Angley Holmes doubles to lead things off. Sam Lee Curtis now up. He's 0 for 2. He grounded out to shortstop twice. So Sam Lee Curtis has played much of the time out of the leadoff spot and in center field here for the Wildcats in this tournament. And the first pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. So Merrick Petito up here. 0-1 count to Sam Lee Curtis with Angley Holmes on deck. And the next pitch, I should say, is a bit low, and it is now 1 ball and 1 strike. So Curtis, an outstanding batting average this summer out of the leadoff spot, hitting .407. 1 home run, 25 runs batted in. Also has 3 doubles, 3 triples. The 1-1 pitch, is a bit outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, .407 batting average. Although 0 for 2 today. Has a runner on second to try to pick up. He has a .407 batting average, a .493 on-base percentage. So almost half of the time, Sam Lee Curtis has been up in a game for the Wildcats summer season. He's gotten on base. So the law of averages, he's 0 for 2. Law of averages says he might get on base at this time, might get a base hit this time, but we'll see. As Curtis trying to drive in the runner Angley Holmes to get them within 1 possibly, or get them within 3, 8-4 is the score right now. Austin Blatnick is on deck. So 2-2. Petito looking back at second. Out of the stretch he deals, and that's a strike 3 call on the inside corner, a slider. Right on the inside as Sam Lee Curtis goes down, called out on strikes. There's 1 away here, and that'll bring up Austin Blatnick. Blatnick is 0 for 1. He walked and grounded to short. Blatnick on the summer hitting .319. It's .319, 22 hits and 69 at-bats, and that's a strike, and it's 0-1. No home runs, 11 runs batted in. 3 of those 22 hits have gone for doubles. Petito trying to limit any base hits that Blatnick can get right here as the strike 1 pitch is a bit outside, 1-1. Yeah, base hit very well could cut the lead to 3. The 1-1 pitch on the way. And here's Petito's delivery, and it's outside and low. Ball 2, nice save by James Outman behind the plate to prevent any advancement. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning, 8-4 in favor of the Crabs as the Crabs and Wildcats, the championship game of the Humble Invitational Tournament, the last game of the Crabs season. Hard to believe. It feels like yesterday that we were just getting things started at the beginning of June. But a nice 10-week season, a successful 10-week season for the Crabs as they've gone 34-15 so far and trying to pick up win at number 35. The 2-1 pitch from Petito, and that's outside and low. It's 3-1. Petito is in his 2nd inning of work, and so far has given up 4 hits, 2 runs, along with a strikeout. So 3-1. Here's the pitch from Petito. A little nubber down the third base line, charging in his Reynolds. Barehanded throw to first in time to get him. Outstanding play by Ryan Reynolds at third base. He continues to impress down there at the hot corner as the Texas Longhorn able to throw out Blatnick on a short, slow ground ball down the third base line, and that's the second out, and Ethan Joyce now stepping in. So in what could have been a big inning for the Auburn Wildcats if even an average third baseman were right there, instead it's a runner on third, 2 out, and Petito is 1 out away from getting out of the jam. If you can call it a jam, I guess. Giving up a leadoff double usually doesn't bode well for you too much, but seems as though Petito might be close to getting out of it, but can never speak so soon, can you, in the game of baseball, as Ethan Joyce on the 1-0 pitch sees it go outside, and it's 2-0. So Tanner Ingley-Holmes 90 feet away from bringing in the 5th Wildcat run. The 2-0, and it is a bit inside, ball 3, 3-0. So definitely a hitter's count for Ethan Joyce. On deck is Jack Vesey, who we've seen display some power throughout this tournament. So not someone you want to come up with the bases or with runners on base. Bases wouldn't be loaded, it'd be 2 on. However, dangerous pop position with Jack Vesey on deck. That next pitch is down the middle for a strike, and it's 3-1. Well, the next pitch is outside, ball 4. So it is first and third. So if Ryan Reynolds didn't make that outstanding play at third base, this really very well could have been a big inning for the Wildcats. At the very minimum, they could have had the bases loaded, 1 out at the very least, but Ryan Reynolds making that play, and now the walk to Ethan Joyce. And Jack Vesey now in. He's 1 for 1. He walked and then doubled, scored a run, and he has hit very well throughout this tournament. On the first day of the tournament, he hit a double high off the left field fence and has continued to just hit doubles throughout the rest of the tournament. So he's hoping to get a bases clearing one right here. 0-1 the count to the designated hitter, Jack Vesey. We've also seen him in right field as Merrick Petito on the next pitch. That's going to be a chopper speared by Newman. He's going to take it to the bag himself, and that'll end the inning. So Merrick Petito gives up a leadoff double as well as a 2-out walk, but no damage is done against him as the Wildcats get no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is the Crabs 8, the Wildcats 4. You're listening to Humble Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. And welcome back to the Arcata Ballpark, where the Crabs have an 8-4 lead over the Auburn Wildcats going into the bottom of the 4th inning. Logan Bush to lead things off, and he is 1 for 1, a walk, a single, and 2 runs scored. Logan Bush, the center fielder out of North Dakota State University, originally comes from Minnesota. And the first pitch, and it's going to be inside, almost hits him, but just is able to brush himself back and time to avoid it, so it's 1-0 the count. Bush. And the next pitch is fouled off his foot, and that's going to sting right there. Man, that's it's a tough way to take it. And he's even wearing some padding, but it looks like it might have hit an area where there isn't. I think it hit off the top of his foot. Yeah, he's going to have to walk that out. That's going to sting for a little bit. Anyone who's played the game of baseball, or softball even for that matter, is well aware of the type of stinging pain that fouling off a pitch off yourself like that would do. So, yeah, Bush getting some time to kind of walk it off, and, yeah, they're going to call for extra time. As Bush up there with a 1-1 count. So he played a year at North Dakota State University. He also played a year at Century College over in Minnesota, his home state, where he hit .339 during his freshman season. 37 runs batted in, 7 home runs. He also ran very well, 17 stolen bases. Bush on the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. His senior year in high school, he hit .365. So Logan Bush has been hitting much of his baseball playing life, it seems, as the next pitch is outside and low, 2-2. Last year, in his summer collegiate season, he played for the St. Paul Capitals, and he hit .468 with 7 home runs and 17 stolen bases. So summertime seems to be treating him well. That pitch swung on and fouled back, and it's 2-2. Bush, on this summer with the Crabs, hitting .275. No home runs, 20 runs batted in, but has an outstanding .444 on base percentage. The 2-2 pitch is inside, and the count goes full 3-2. And the reason why his on base percentage is so good, he has walked more than he has struck out. 31 walks to just 24 strikeouts this summer with the Crabs. The 3-2 pitch is strike 3 called on the outside corner. Bush thought he was going down to first base on a walk, and Justin Yislas punches him out instead, and Bush not happy with the call as he walks away, has a few words to say to Justin Yislas. And either way, he's going to have to return to the bench. 1 away as Bush called out on strikes, and Newt Johnson now stepping in. Johnson is 0 for 1, struck out, and then suffered a little scare when he got plunked right on the noggin. But it seemed as though he was okay, got up, and, of course, stayed in the game. And that's a strike down the middle. It's 0-1 to the designated hitter for the Crabs, Newt Johnson. But Johnson did score a run, turned that hit by pitch into a run scored. The next pitch swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. So if Hayden Piner still in relief for the Auburn Wildcats. The next pitch, a check swing on a pitch low, and it's not going to be a swing, so ball 1-2. Piner came in the last inning and got the last out. Otherwise, he's allowed 3 base hits, 2 runs so far, another pitch in the dirt, and it's 2-2. A walk and a strikeout so far in the 2/3 of an innings that he's pitched. So 2-2 with 1 out. And the next pitch in the dirt, ball 3, and the count goes full 3-2. On deck is Mason Cirillo. But the Crabs have walked plenty tonight and throughout this tournament. That ball is going to be pulled into left field, and it's going to go over the head of Jake Faulkner into the fence. Rounding first and heading into second, sliding with a double is Newt Johnson here with 1 out. So the Crabs have yet another runner in scoring position for Mason Cirillo. So Mason Cirillo with a chance to extend this Crabs lead to 5, basically get it out of slam range. And for what they hope can maybe put the game out of reach, the first pitch is outside and low, ball 1-0. Mason Cirillo comes from Washington, of course, plays for the Wazoo Cougars, Washington State University. his senior year, he was selected to play for the Mariners' fall scout team, as that pitch is going to be grounded up the middle, backhanded nicely at second base by Angley Holman, and he makes the throw to first in time to retire Mason Cirillo. Going to third on the play is going to be Newt Johnson. So 2 down, runner at third as Cirillo grounds out 4-3, and now Mason Thielander up. Thielander is 1 for 1 with 3 runs batted in. He had a 2 RBI single in the second inning, walked with the bases loaded in the third, and then came around and scored a run. So runner at third, 2 out. The first pitch to Thielander is in the dirt. Nice save by Mike Phelan to prevent the runner from being able to come in. So 1-0 the count to Thielander. Thielander out of Lassen Junior College. And the next pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Going to head out to Colorado State University Pueblo to continue his playing career. Mason Thielander, as he has finished his 2 years at Lassen Junior College. That ball swung on and fouled back. Originally comes from Colorado Springs. Been playing some baseball out here on the West Coast, and that includes this summer here with the Crabs, and now going to head back to his home state of Colorado to play some Division II baseball. So the 1-2 pitch on the way, and a check swing as Hayden Piner tried to get that ball to be chased and missed on a ball in the dirt, but Thielander able to hold up on it. So deuce is wild, 2 balls, 2 strike, 2 out. Runner on third here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 8-4 in favor of the Crabs. Piner into the wind, and here's his pitch. It's outside, and the count goes full, 3-2. On deck is David Hamilton, as we'll go back to the top of the order, if Thielander can extend this inning in any way. The 3-2 pitch. That's going to be a little chopper. Past the, over the glove, actually, is off the glove of the third baseman, Kyle Dixon. And Dixon, yeah, that'll be a base hit. So Dixon looked like he might have had the third out if he'd been able to see it in his glove and throw to first, but looks like he may maybe have lost it in the sun or something. But either way, it's an RBI single for Mason Thielander, and it's 9-4 in favor of the Crabs. So an RBI single for Thielander. He now has 4 RBIs on the day, and that'll bring up David Hamilton with a runner at first and 2 out. Hamilton 1 for 2. He popped to first as the first pitch from Piner is in the dirt ball, 1-0. He popped out to first in the first inning. He walked in the second and had an RBI single and scored a run in the third. Hamilton, a 26th-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Angels, has committed to play with Texas and join a teammate and partner on the left side of the infield, Ryan Reynolds, over in Austin, where they're going to play for a big-time baseball program at the University of Texas. The 1-0 pitch, and it's a bit outside, and it's 2-0. Yeah, we'll be able to see. I mean, those of you who have a cable subscription that includes the Longhorn Network, you'll probably be able to see quite a few games featuring David Hamilton and Ryan Reynolds as the pitch is thrown to first. So Ryan Reynolds and David Hamilton going to be a part of the Texas baseball team, as Hamilton has just impressed basically since his first step foot here at the Arcata Ballpark, the 2-0 pitch in the dirt, 3-0. I mean, how often do we see a kid straight out of high school? I mean, he just played high school ball this past spring and has asserted himself as the leadoff hitter and the starting shortstop. The 3-0 pitch, and that's a bit high, ball 4. So Hamilton on base for the 3rd time today and the 2nd time he's walked. And now Brian Pozos now up. And that's going to do it for Hayden Piner as he pitched a full inning. If you count the third of an inning he pitched the last inning, the 1 out plus 2 outs in this inning equals 1 inning. And has given up 5 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned with 2 walks and a strikeout. As the Crabs just continue to walk around the diamond, it seems they've been doing that all weekend. If you recall, Friday night, when they played the Alameda Merchants, they walked 15 times. Well, they've walked quite a few. Let's count them up. Yeah, 8 walks tonight. So 8 walks plus a hit batter. So that's 9 free bases that the Crabs have gotten. So really the pitching from all sides has had trouble consistently finding the strike zone, as Brian Pozos on the first pitch. It's a good breaking ball in there for a strike from Pioneer, and it's 0-1. Pozos is 2 for 2, 2 doubles, 3 runs batted in, a run scored. He also walked. Nine to 4 Crabs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The next pitch is inside, and it's 1-1. Pozos played at the University of Portland, but it's going to head over to the Chico State to play for the Wildcats and hang out with Andy Bersinger over there. Yeah, he's going to be a Wildcat. He's playing against the Wildcats, and he's going to play a different team called the Wildcats next spring. That's going to be poked into center field for a base hit. They're going to wave around Mason Thielander, and he's going to score ahead of the throw. And the Crabs have taken a 10-4 lead on the RBI single by Brian Pozos. So Thielander scores his second run of the game. Pozos now picks up his 4th RBI, and James Outman now up. Outman is 1 for 3, struck out, lined to second hard, hit it right on the screws, but right at the second baseman, Ingley Holman. And then he had an RBI single in the 3rd inning. So 10-4 in favor of the Crabs, as they've had no problem taking advantage of all the free bases they've been given this tournament, as with the exception of that first game against the Solano Mudcats, they've scored at will. The first pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1 from Hayden Piner. James Outman, we didn't realize he was a catcher, but this last week he's had a couple of starts behind the plate when he had primarily been a left fielder otherwise. The strike 1 pitch, a good breaking ball, and it's in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. So Outman trying to continue this and extend the lead for the Crabs once more as they lead by 6 here in the bottom of the 4th. The strike 2 pitch is outside, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Outman out of Sacramento State was a 2-sport star in high school. He was an outstanding baseball player, but not only that, he played linebacker for his varsity football team and was the team's leading tackler. The 1-2 pitch, and it's outside, and the count goes even. So Deuces Wild once again, 2 balls, 2 strike, 2 out, 2 on, and 2 in. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, a 10-4 Crabs lead, as they're looking to claim the 2nd annual Humboldt Invitational Tournament title. They won it last year as well. And the next pitch, that's going to be grounded over to first base. Picking it up as Taylor Field's going to take it to the bag himself, and that'll end the inning. So the Crabs able to add 2 runs on 3 base hits, no errors, and they leave 2 as we go to the top of the 5th inning here at the Arcata Ballpark. The Crabs lead the Auburn Wildcats 10-4. You're listening to Humboldt Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. I'm not back.
You're not? Well, I put you on.
Leading off the inning and getting hit by the pitch from Merrick Petito, Jake Faulkner stepped in, and the first pitch got plunked on the back. So, 1 on and nobody out, a leadoff base runner as Merrick Petito hits a batter. He's also walked a batter and has a strikeout. So Taylor Field up, and the first pitch to Field is on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. So Taylor Field is 1 for 2. And the next pitch swung on and missed. A good changeup right there. Pulling the string on that one was Merrick Petito. Really good mix of speed right there to really get Taylor Field to go out in front of it and swinging out of his shoes and missing. It's 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes to Taylor Field here in the top of the 5th inning. 10-4 in favor of the Crabs, but Jake Faulkner led off the inning by getting hit by a pitch, so a leadoff base runner for the Wildcats. That pitch outside, and it's 1-2. So Taylor Field, we've seen him play both first base and catcher throughout this tournament for the Wildcats. And the next pitch, that's going to be a line foul down the right field line, and it's still 1-2. Field, an outstanding hitting catcher as well as a first baseman, a .380 hitter. 2 home runs, 20 runs batted in, 41 for 108 overall. Also had 9 doubles. And the next pitch is grounded foul down the left field line, so we'll do it again at 1-2 here to Taylor Field. So the Wildcats beat the Solano Mudcats to advance to this final. The Crabs beat the Alameda Merchants. Crabs entered the final round of this tournament undefeated. The only loss the Wildcats have is to the Crabs. The next pitch, a swung on and missed, throw down to first, and not in time with the throw, but Field strikes out. And Kyle Dixon now stepping in. So Kyle Dixon, 1 for 2. He doubled, scored a run in the second inning, hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the third, which really helped kill what would have been an otherwise bigger inning than the 2 runs they got in that third. So he's looking to have a different result here in which he can help extend and contribute to a run-scoring inning. He's got a chance to do that with a runner at first, and it's 0-1 the count to Kyle Dixon. So 0-1 the count. Petito set above the head, and the next pitch is low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Jake Faulkner at first base. Taking a modest lead is Faulkner, the 1-1 pitch, and that's swung on and fouled back, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Faulkner off of first base. Has 3 stolen bases and 4 attempts, so he's been caught once, otherwise has 3 stolen bases, just to give you an idea of the speed he has. So he is capable of taking one if he so desires. 1-2. Petito set above the head, and out of the stretch he deals. That's reached at a slow grounder foul. Foul was backhanded nicely by Reynolds, and from what we've seen, he could have made the play over to first from what we've seen from Reynolds before, but it was a foul ball called, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes still. So 1-2, 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Crabs lead 10-4 over the Auburn Wildcats. The final game they will play until June of 2017. It's hard to believe already we're at the end of this fantastic summer crab season. That ball's going to be grounded just fair inside the third base line and down into the corner. Stumbling and falling down is Kyle Dixon, so he's going to have to hold for a single. Going to third is Faulkner, so Crab's a little fortunate that Dixon stumbled around the bag. Otherwise, it could have been two runners in scoring position. Instead, it's runners on the corner on the single by Kyle Dixon, and that'll bring up Mike Phelan. Phelan 0 for 1, walked, scored a run. He also grounded out to first. And a big RBI opportunity right here to see if they can get the Wildcats back into the game. The first pitch is a bit outside. Ball 1, 1-0. So Dixon is at first. Seems to be okay because it took a pretty big spill over there, rounding the bag, but again, he is okay. The next pitch that's swung on and grounded foul down the third baseline. That evens things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Dixon off of first base. Has only attempted 1 stolen base and he got caught, so 0 for 1. The pitch, and that is outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike the count as Mike Phelan ahead in the count, and Merrick Petito kind of struggling to throw some strikes here. So 2-1 the count. Petito looking over at third now, deals out of the stretch, and that's swung on and fouled back. That evens things up at 2-2. The second baseman, Tanner Angley Holmes, is on deck. Two and two. Petito looking down the barrel for a sign. Set above the head. And here's his pitch. That's going to be popped up in the infield, and going out a couple of steps onto the outfield grass is Brian Pozos to make the catch. The runners have to hold, and there's 2 down. So that'll bring up Tanner Angley Holmes, who's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs, a single and a double. As the Wildcats, again, trying to get at least a couple of the runs back that they gave up in that bottom of the 4th inning. Again, to get it within a range of being able to tie it on a home run, it would be a grand slam, but at least want to get themselves in a position to where they have a shot to make a comeback. Not even over 1 inning, but over a couple of innings. That's going to be a slow grounder to second. Pozos has it, throws to first in time to take care of Angley Holmes, and that'll end the inning. So the Wildcats, they've gotten a runner on every inning, but they've only been able to score in 2 of them as they get no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They leave 2 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. It is the Crabs 10 and the Auburn Wildcats 4. You're listening to Humboldt Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. We go to the top of the bottom of the fifth inning, excuse me. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning here at the Arcata Ballpark. It's 10-4. Crabs over the Wildcats. Josh Savea is the new pitcher for the Auburn Wildcats. So Savea getting the call here in relief. And still making his last couple of warm-up pitches. So Savea getting the call. Savea making his 13th appearance. He's also made 9 starts and has thrown 49 in the third innings. He's giving up 41 hits. 28 runs, 22 of them earned. Along with 52 strikeouts, 27 walks, so a pretty decent ratio right there. Has a 2-1 record overall. 4.01 earned run average, so at least based off his numbers that he's done this summer, has the ability to find the strike zone, but occasionally can get hit a little hard. So Savea on the first pitch as Newman swings and misses, was a bit in front of it, and it's 0-1. Jason Newman is 0 for 2. He grounded to second, grounded to short, and also walked. The strike one pitch. And that's a fly ball into shallow right center field. Austin Blatnick is there, makes the catch, and that's the first out. So one away, and that'll bring up Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds 0 for 1. He also scored a run. Actually, 0 for 2. He's 0 for 2, grounded to first. He walked, scored a run, and then flew out to left field. Out of the University of Texas, and it's going to help his left side of the infield partner, David Hamilton, in adjusting to new life in Austin. The next pitch is low. It's 1-0. The next pitch. And it is outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, not to be confused with the actor that plays Deadpool, but he has played some outstanding third base for the Humboldt Crabs, and that's popped up on the infield, making the catch, Ethan Joyce, and a soft little pop-up by Ryan Reynolds is quickly 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Logan Bush now up. So Bush, 1 for 2. He walked, scored a run, singled, scored a run, and struck out. The first pitch. And a check swing, it's going to cost him a strike, and it's 0-1. So Bush, one of a handful of Crabs players who comes from the Dakotas, as he plays at North Dakota State. Of course, that's where the second-round NFL draft pick Carson Wentz came from, and he was telling me that he got to meet him a few times, a pretty cool guy, and was really excited about Carson Wentz's prospects. So the North Dakota State product, Logan Bush up, and he swings and fouls away the pitch. It's 1-2. Newt Johnson on deck. So 2-2. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strike, 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 10-4 in favor of the Humboldt Crabs. The next pitch from Josh Savea, and that's low and outside, and the count goes full, 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. Into the wind to Savea. The pitch swung on and fouled back and out of play. We'll do it again at 3-2. Yeah, last year playing summer collegiate ball, again, he had 468 with 7 home runs and 17 stolen bases up in Minnesota. The next pitch, 3-2 pitch, strike 3 called on a breaking ball by Savea. And for the first time today, the Crabs are retired in order, 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left as we go to the top of the 6th inning here at the Arcata Ballpark. The Crabs lead the Auburn Wildcats 10-4. You're listening to Humboldt Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. And for the last time this summer, we're going to hear the music from the Crabgrass Band, who certainly livens up the atmosphere here at the Arcata Ballpark. And they're continuing to entertain the crowd here between the innings. Of course, there's a mad rush toward the beer stand. It's the last game, and they can't hope to sell enough beer, so they just said, we got to get rid of it all, so each fan in attendance gets one free beer. Yeah, what a promo that is. I mean, they can't advertise that ahead of time, really, but a nice surprise if you're at the ballpark. One free beer, really. So, Merrick Petito, I believe, still in the game. It's going to be Matthew Hernandez, excuse me. Or is it Ryan Smith? We get a confirmation on the... So it's Matthew Hernandez. Okay, just making sure. All right, Matthew Hernandez in, and on Tuesday had the rare 4-pitch strikeout. Yeah, he had a 4-pitch strikeout. And you're like, well, how do you get a 4-pitch strikeout? Well, besides the 3 outs that he got in the inning, as the first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1 to Sam Lee Curtis. But anyway, a 4-strikeout inning, you'd be like, well, he can only get 3 outs. Well, a strikeout also counts if it gets away from the catcher, and that's pulled down the left field line and foul, and it's 0-2. A strikeout counts as a strikeout if the ball gets away from the catcher, if it doesn't catch the ball and it skips away, and if the runner can make it to first base, he's safe. So it counts as a strikeout even if the runner isn't actually out, and that's what Matthew Hernandez did. He's got the swinging strike, but it was in the dirt and got to the backstop. So strikeout, wild pitch is how that would officially go. And the reasoning behind that is, in baseball, the general idea is that all outs should be caught. The strike 2 pitch, a fly ball into left field, giving pursuit and making the catch on the chalk is Mason T-Lander, and that's the first out. So Sam Lee Curtis flies out to left field, and they'll bring up Austin Blatnick. So yeah, in baseball, there are a few exceptions to the idea that all outs must be caught. For example, if you bunt a foul ball with 2 strikes, that's an out without being caught. And also strikeout in a wild pitch if first base is occupied. The next pitch is a strike and it's 0-1. So if you do strike out on a pitch that is not caught by the catcher and first base is occupied by another runner, the runner doesn't have to move and they'll automatically call out the batter. But those 2 instances, along with maybe a couple of others, are really the exceptions to the idea that all outs should be caught. But that's why, as the next pitch is swung on and missed, and that's strike 3 right there, and he's got to go to first, but Outman able to complete it over, and that is the second out. So that was an example right there. The at-bat was over on strike 3, and they had to make sure the out was caught at first base. So Ethan Joyce now up. Joyce is 0 for 2. He popped out to first. He struck out, and he walked. And the first pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. So Joyce, 2 out and no one on. Matthew Hernandez trying to retire the side in order. It would be the first time any Crabs pitcher has done that in this game. The Wildcats have gotten a runner on in each of the previous 5 innings, but 0-2, 2 out here to Ethan Joyce. Here's Hernandez on the pitch. And that's going to be grounded up the middle and past the diving attempt by Brian Pozo. So still no 1-2-3 inning for Crabs pitching as Joyce gets a 2-out single up the middle, and that'll bring up Jack Vesey. And Vesey's someone who could really change the perception of the game with one swing, as he can add 2 with one swing of the bat. Leads the team in home runs this summer with 4. And a swing here would get it to within 4. And maybe make life a little easier for the Auburn Wildcats going forward. But they do have to stop the Crabs, and they have to do that by throwing strikes. Josh Savea, the most recent reliever for the Auburn Wildcats, seems to be so incapable of doing that from what we saw the last inning. The pitch in the dirt, 1-0. So Vesey, 1 for 2. He walked, doubled, scored a run, and grounded out to first. And the next pitch is popped up foul, and it's going to land and people cowering away from it. And again, you can't keep the foul ball here, so maybe that's why people don't make an effort. Because you go to a major league game, people will fight each other for a foul ball. So 1-1 the count. Two out here in the top of the 6th inning, and the next pitch is a bit outside on the fastball. 2-1 the count. As Matthew Hernandez got 2 quick outs, including a strikeout, but gave up the soft base hit up the middle, and is behind now to Jack Vesey, 2-1. Not a batter you really want to fall behind to. The 2-1 pitch from Hernandez swung on and foul back, carrying out of play, and that'll even things up. So Deuce is wild again. 2 balls, 2 strike, 2 out with a runner on first here in the top of the 6th inning, and a 10-4 ball game. Two and two. And that's hit in the air to center field. Going back on it is Logan Bush, makes the catch, and the inning is over. So the Wildcats once again go scoreless. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. They leave 1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at the Arcata Ballpark. The Crabs lead the Wildcats 10-4. You're listening to Humboldt Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at the Arcata Ballpark. The Crabs lead the Auburn Wildcats 10-4. The championship game of the Humboldt Invitational Tournament, the 2nd annual Humboldt Invitational Tournament, and the last Crabs game of the season. That pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 as Josh Savea still in the game for the Wildcats. The next pitch, and it's a bit outside, and it's 1-1. Newt Johnson, 1 for 2. He struck out, walked, scored a run, and doubled scored a run. And the next pitch, and that's going to be lined into right center field for a base hit, and it's going to go all the way to the fence. Johnson rounding first is going to steam into second for a leadoff double. And Johnson with his 2nd double of the game, and a leadoff runner in scoring position for the Crabs for Mason Cirillo. Cirillo's 0 for 2. He walked and scored a run, also struck out and grounded to second. As Cirillo, out of Wazoo, as they call it, Washington State University. So 1-0 the count. As Cirillo looking to drive in Johnson. The next pitch is in the dirt. Nice save behind the plate by Phelan.
There's finally Krusty arrives.
2-0 the count. Now they're throwing out Candy. Now I got to get in on this, because they can throw up Candy. And the 2-0 pitch is inside, and it's 3-0. And they didn't even throw Candy up into the press box. How could they? Well, Oh, well, what can we do, right? We're stuck up here, so we can't get any of the free stuff they're giving away to end the season. 2-0 the count. Yeah, or 3-0, excuse me. That ball is outside, ball 4, so Cirillo walks. Cirillo on the summer is a 243 hitter, with a 341 on base percentage, now walks for the 16th time today or this summer. So a double to Johnson, a walk to Cirillo. First and second, no one out for Mason Thielander. Thielander is 2 for 2, has 4 RBIs, 2 singles, 2 runs scored, as well as a walk. So it seems as though this Crabs team, at least this offense, finishing things on a high note, and the Crabs looking to, as a team, finish things on a high note by claiming the Humble Invitational Tournament title. The 1-0 pitch, and it's a bit high, and it's 2-0. David Hamilton, the leadoff man, is on deck, so we'll go back to the top of the order. Johnson at second and Cirillo at first. Don't expect either of them to do really any running, up by 6. The 2-0 pitch, and it's swung on and missed, and it's 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 runners on base. So Thielander with a 2-1 pitch, and he sees it go outside, and it's now 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Sevilla, sit at the chest, out of the stretch, he deals. Swung on and fouled back, and the count goes full, 3-2. So Mason Thielander. .5'10", 175-pound, just finished his sophomore year at last, and again going back to Colorado State Pueblo. And that pitch is off the plate, ball 4, another walk. As the Crabs have now, walked 9 times, I believe? They've walked 10 times, 10 times, and a hit batter. So David Hamilton, who we've seen twice in this tournament hit bases-clearing triples, certainly anxious to try to do the same here. The first pitch from Sevilla, and that's in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. So Josh Sevilla had a pretty efficient 5th inning in which he retired the Crabs in order and looked like he had pretty good command in doing so. His numbers on the summer indicate he has pretty good command, but it seems to have lost it by walking 2 batters. The 0-1 pitch. And it's outside, and it's now 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Crabs, for the 3rd time in this tournament, and when you combine walks and hit batters, have gotten more than 10 free bases. That includes 15 walks and 2 hit batters on Friday night, the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball into deep center field, giving pursuit and tracking it down, making a nice diving catch is Sam Lee Curtis. And only a player as fast and someone who could track it off the ball as well as Sam Lee Curtis could have made that even diving attempt, and he rolled over, made the catch, and what an outstanding catch by Curtis. So that officially goes as a scoring fly ball to center field by David Hamilton. Hamilton picks up his 2nd RBI of the game, and Brian Pozos now in. That was an outstanding catch, and give credit to Curtis. He ain't giving up, regardless of the score, regardless of the time of the season for the Wildcats. Giving an outstanding play right there. The first pitch is inside and nearly hits Pozos, but instead gets right by him, and it's 1-0. It looked like it may have grazed his pant legging, but instead right into Phelan's glove. So 1-0 the count to Brian Pozos. And the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be grounded foul down the 3rd base line, and the count evens up now, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1. And here's the next pitch. And a slider that tried to bend inside the corner, and instead it just was just straight inside, really. And it's ball 2, 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Crabs have now taken an 11-4 lead. The 2-1 pitch. That's going to be lined into right center field for base hit. Going over to cut it off is Curtis. They're going to send around Mason Cirillo on the RBI single by Brian Pozos, and the Crabs now lead 12-4. So stopping at second is T-Lander. And Brian Pozos with an RBI single. That's his 5th RBI of the game. 5th RBI for Brian Pozos. And James Outman now up. And I think, is that going to do it for Josh Savea? There is activity in the Wildcat bullpen, but it looks like it's just going to be a meeting among all the infielders plus the manager. So after the meeting concludes, yeah, it's still going to be Savea on the mound. And again, looked pretty sharp in his first inning of relief, but here in the second inning that he has appeared in is pretty all over the place. He has now thrown 32 pitches, and only 15 of them are for strikes. Just to go to show you how inconsistent Savea has been. So Outman at the plate. He is 1 for 4 with an RBI single. That's going to be a ground ball, nice, or actually a bat hop, I should say, over the first baseman's glove and into right field. Coming around to score is going to be T-Lander. Stopping at second is Brian Pozos. It's now 13-4 in favor of the Crabs. That was a really tough hop for Taylor Field to try to handle. Looked like he was going to try to backhand it, but it hit a spot on the infield dirt that caused it just to bounce high in the air and over him and down the right field line, and that'll do it for Josh Savea. So a new pitcher coming into the game for the Auburn Wildcats. Jason Newman is the batter, and he is 0 for 3, but we're going to try to see who this pitcher is, as the Wildcats is looking for someone who could throw strikes at this point.
Oh, he threw a strike. Number 5.
So the new pitcher, and we don't have him on the roster. Where's the...
Austin Spainhour.
It's going to be Austin Spainhour. So Spainhour looking to see if he can have more success than Josh Savea and keeping this potent Crabs offense from really inflicting any more damage. So Savea comes out. It's going to be Austin Spainhour. Spainhour comes from Cal State Monterey Bay, plays for the Otters, a CC2A school, the same conference that Humboldt State is in, although Humboldt State does not have a baseball team, so it's not as though he would play up here in Arcata again, but in basically every other sport except for football, Humboldt State a member of the CC2A and fellow conference member, Cal State Monterey Bay, represented by Austin Spainhour, who is going into his senior season. Spainhour this summer has only made 5 appearances so far, thrown 7 innings, allowed 12 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned, along with 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Has a record of 0-1. the ERA adds up to 5.14. So the Cal State Monterey Bay Otter on the mound for the Auburn Wildcats, as he's now going to face Jason Newman. Newman with 2 on and 1 out here in the top or the bottom of the 6th inning. And the first pitch is outside, and it's 1-0. So bottom of the 6th inning, 13-4 in favor of the Crabs. The Wildcats actually had taken the lead real briefly, but the Crabs have been able to answer and then some. The next pitch is swung on and fouled away. Yeah, the Wildcats led for all of 1 inning, essentially, not even an inning. The next pitch, and that's a breaking ball that does not break down at all, and it's 2-1. Yeah, they took a 2-0 lead in the top of the 2nd inning. But then the Crabs responded with 2 of their own. Then the Wildcats led 4-2 in the 3rd inning, and then the Crabs came back with 6. And they really have not looked back ever since. The 13-4 lead is something they're looking to add on to. The next pitch outside, 3-1. So really, Austin Spainow are not having any success finding the strike zone. Just like basically most of the pitchers from all 4 teams we've seen this tournament. I've seen more walks over a 9-game stretch than basically anywhere else. The 3-1 pitch is off the plate again, ball 4. I mean, the Crabs have shown more control than the other teams, but they've walked a few guys themselves as well, so it's not as though they're completely innocent either, and the 3 teams that have come here for this tournament just having pitchers that seem incapable of finding the strike zone, as Ryan Reynolds now stepping up. As Ryan Reynolds is 0 for 3. He did walk and score a run, otherwise grounded to first, flew out to left, and popped out to shortstop. And that's a strike on the first pitch, 0-1, to the native Texan, Ryan Reynolds. And the strike 1 pitch is outside, 1-1. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds out of Texas. Has a little bit of an accent. He did say he actually moved to Louisiana when he was a kid, but originally does come from Texas. Now playing over in Austin, the 1-1 pitch is inside, 2-1. Has the accent and has the mannerisms that would make you say, yeah, he's from Texas. He basically addresses you as sir almost every time. Yes, sir. No, sir. Really nice guy to talk to. The 2-1 pitch, and Reynolds hits a fly ball into deep center field. Curtis giving pursuit back, and it is gone. A grand slam home run for Ryan Reynolds, and the Crabs have taken a 17-4 lead. No doubt about it, shot. Curtis gave all the attempt he could, but he even climbed the fence, but all he was able to do was get a better view of where the ball landed by climbing the fence, because that ball was gone, and it was gone in a hurry. A solid 10, 20 feet above the fence into that screen protecting the police station parking lot. As, I mean, we could have said a while ago that the game's been blown wide open. I mean, it is removed all doubt from the game at this point, all doubt from the outcome, as Ryan Reynolds hits a grand slam home run to give it a 17-4 lead. So Logan Bush, with the bases empty, 1 out. So the kid from Texas showing off his power, and I'm sure the Longhorns are really going to enjoy seeing a lot more of that. The next pitch is swung on and fouled back, and it's 1-2. Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds, that's his 4th home run of the season. And his 23rd run batted in. The 2-2 pitch, and that's swung on and fouled away. Or was that strike 3? That was strike 3. Saw the ball skip away and thought maybe he fouled it off. So, either way, it's 2 down as Bush strikes out, and now Newt Johnson up. He led off the inning with a double, and he scored a run, although who hasn't scored a run in this game for the Crabs? 17-4. And every Crab in the lineup has scored a run today. 2-0 the count to Newt Johnson. Newt Johnson out of South Dakota State pops it up on the right side of the infield as Angley Holman looking up makes the catch, and that is the 3rd out. And the inning for the Auburn Wildcats is mercifully over as the Crabs had 7 runs. Yes, 7 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors, and there was none left as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Man, the Crabs have blown this one wide open and have the 2nd consecutive Humble Invitational Tournament title in their sights. They just got to get through these last 9 outs as they lead 17-4 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to Humble Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. And we go to the top of the 7th inning here at the Arcata Ballpark. 17-4, excuse me. 17-4. Yeah, 14 runs isn't giving them due diligence, is it? 17-4 is the Crabs' lead as it has been a massacre, not only tonight, but throughout this tournament. The Solana Mudcats made it close. And the Mudcats took them to 11 innings and a 4-3 Crabs win. Otherwise, the Crabs have really had an easy time of it. So standing in for the Wildcats leading off, Matthew Hernandez going into his 2nd inning of work, and it's swung on and missed. Jake Faulkner up, and he now has an 0-1 count. The Crabs beat Auburn 14-5 last night. The strike 1 pitch is inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Crabs have scored double-digit runs in 3 of the 4 tournament games. Again, the Solana Mudcats really played them tough in a 4-3 11-inning loss to the Crabs. Otherwise, the Crabs have just had their way with the opposing pitchers. The next pitch is a bit low. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Faulkner on the evening is 1 for 1 with an RBI double, and that's going to be a fly ball into deep center field. Bush giving pursuit. It's going to have it bounce high off against the fence. Rounding first and stopping at second with a double is Jake Faulkner as he leads off by giving the Wildcats a runner in scoring position here in the top of the 7th for Taylor Field. Taylor Field 1 for 3, struck out twice and singled. Again, an outstanding hitter. Has been that way this summer for the Auburn Wildcats, but is 1 for 3 today as we've seen him split time between first base and catcher. The next pitch swung on and fouled back, and it is 0-1. So Taylor Field with a runner at second to try to move along. Field has 20 RBIs on the summer. And the next pitch is a bit low, 1-1. As the hourglass on the 2016 Crab season slowly starting to empty. 1-1 pitch, and that's swung on and hit in the air to right field on the play. And making the catch is Mason Cirillo, and that is the first out. And tagging up going to third is Jake Faulkner. So fly out to right, going to third is Faulkner. And Kyle Dixon now up. So Kyle Dixon. Mike Phelan's on deck. Kyle Dixon up 2 for 3. Doubled, scored a run, hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and he also singled. And the next pitch, and that's inside, ball 1, a 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out to Kyle Dixon in the top of the 7th inning, a 17-4 Crabs lead. That's going to be a little flare and picked off by Jason Newman. He ran out and just reached his glove over it as it was going to fall into shallow right field. Nice play by Jason Newman. As that was a tough ball to get to because it wasn't hit that high in the air at all, and it was hit very softly, and it was just going to dunk right into shallow right field, but Newman able to reach up with his glove and make the catch. So Mike Phelan up with 2 out, runner at third. Phelan is 0 for 2. He walked, scored a run, also grounded to first and popped to second. The first pitch swinging, and he hits a fly ball into shallow center field. Bush coming in, going out is Pozos, who makes an over-the-shoulder catch on the run. With his back turned to the infield, the only way that ball could have been caught is if Pozos able to reach out with his glove in front of him and did just that. An outstanding play. And the inning is over. So this certainly has gone the Crabs' way all night as the Wildcats retire. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at the Arcata Ballpark. It is 17-4 in favor of the Crabs. You're listening to Humboldt Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. So Jack Vesey getting the call to come in relief. And Jack Vesey has played right field and designated hitter throughout the tournament. This is the first time we've seen him pitch. And he has shown himself to be a good hitter. And let's see if he can throw strikes as a pitcher. That's been the struggle for the entire tournament for all 4 teams. And, of course, the designated hitter now eliminated for the Auburn Wildcats for the rest of the game. If you sub out your DH for someone in the field, you automatically lose that spot. As I like to say, yeah, real baseball, not the abomination the American League introduced 40 years ago, roughly. Of course, my strong opinions on the DH are well known, so I always like to see it when the pitcher has to bat. Although at this level, the pitchers are more talented hitters than they are going up through the minor leagues where they really don't bat much at all. they're still kind of at the level where they've kind of done both. But either way, no DH for the Auburn Wildcats for the rest of the game, as Mason Cirillo to start things off here for the Humble Crabs in the bottom of the 7th inning. So the first pitch to Cirillo, it's a strike from VC, and it's 0-1. So VC is listed as a pitcher. And the next pitch is a little low, 1 ball and 1 strike. VC making his 13th appearance. All of his appearances have been relief. He's thrown 13 in the 3rd innings, allowing 9 base hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, along with 4 walks, 12 strikeouts. So he does have a track record of being able to consistently hit the strike zone, a 1-0 record. Does have 7 saves, so he's their designated closer, a 1.35 ERA. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mason Cirillo is 0 for 2, but he's been on base twice and scored twice as he's walked, and really, if you're on the Crabs, who hasn't walked, both today and throughout the tournament. The 1-2 pitch, a 1-hopper to second. Angley Holman picks it up, throws to first in time to take care of Cirillo, and there's 1 away. Oh, no, it got away. It got away. Oh, he's out. He is out. He got away, and the tag was applied because he rounded first going towards second, and that's how you know, yeah, if he had just gone straight and turned inside. So actually no single at all, though. Again, the catch wasn't made. It had to be recovered, and Cirillo had to be tagged out. So a 4-3 ground out, but not an easy one. Mason Thielander up. Thielander, 2 for 2 with 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored, has 2 singles and 2 walks, and 1-0 as Jack Vesey misses on the first pitch. David Hamilton, the leadoff man, on deck. The 1-0 pitch is on the outside corner on a breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. So Thielander, the Crabs up by 13 runs, and the next pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. So Thielander trying to make his last Crabs at-bat a memorable one. 1-2. And the next pitch grounded into the hole, backhanded at short by Joyce. Long throw to, actually he's not going to make the play. He's tried to make a throw instead of kind of scored it out of his hand. And he slams the ball down in frustration, and it got away from him. And luckily enough, not paying attention to it was Thielander. That could have cost him an extra base and been a frustration error because it was a base hit. It was a nice backhanded attempt, and as he tried to make the long throw, it squirted out of his hand like a wet bar of soap. And out of frustration, after reaching safely was a Thielander. He just slammed the ball down, and it rolled away from him. And Thielander, had he been paying attention to that, might have been able to take second. So he almost cost his team right there out of frustration. Did Joyce as Thielander aboard on the single. David Hamilton up, and it's now 1 ball and no strikes. Hamilton was robbed of a bases clearing at least double, and knowing how fast he can run, possibly even triple, on an outstanding diving catch by Sam Lee Curtis in center field. Otherwise, he is 1 for 2. He popped to first. That's a strike, and it's 1-2. He popped to first. He walked. He had an RBI single, then scored a run, walked, and then hit a scoring fly ball. Again, an outstanding diving catch by Sam Lee Curtis. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back, and we'll do it again at 1-2. One ball, 2 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The next pitch. And it's a bit low. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. The pitch from VC swung on and grounded foul down the first base line, and we'll do it again at 2-2. So Thielander aboard first with an infield single after Mason Cirillo started out by grounding out. David Hamilton trying to continue the Crabs' offensive onslaught here, and again, make a lasting impression in possibly his last at-bat for the Crabs. Who knows, with the way the Crabs have been hitting, each guy's probably going to get 2 more. But either way, time winding down on the season. The 3-2 pitch, and it's strike 3 call. Hamilton was heading off to first base, and instead he is called out on strikes by Justin Yisla. So down he goes, and that'll bring up Brian Pozos now. 2 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pozos, 5 RBIs today, and it's 4 for 4. 4 for 4, 5 RBIs. He doubled in the first, walked in the second, doubled in 3 runs in the third. That ball is going to be hit into the gap into left center field, and it's going to go all the way to the fence. And they're going to hold Thielander at third, and at second is Brian Pozos. Man, he is on fire today. 5 times he has gotten a hit and been on base 6 times now, so 5 for 5. That's his third double, has 2 singles and a walk. So James Outman now up. So Outman, and 764 attendance for the whole day at this final championship game for the Humble Invitational Tournament. So a good turnout for the all 3 games today. So James Outman up with runners on second and third and 2 out. And he swings and misses at that pitch, and it's 0-1. Outman on the day is 2 for 5, has 2 RBIs and a run scored, 2 singles. Otherwise, he struck out, lined out to second, and grounded out to first. So VC out of the stretch, he deals, and that's swung on and missed by Outman. Yeah, he's swinging for the fences now, and it's 0-2. You can see the big swings by some of these Crabs players. They want to leave a lasting impression on these fans here at the Arcata Ballpark by launching them deep, and so far they've had some success in doing so, including that deep double by Brian Pozos that put runners on second and third. Next pitch is inside. It's actually going to graze the shirt. It's going to graze the shirt of James Outman, so the base is now loaded with 2 out. So how many hit batters now? Is that the second hit batter? Okay, so now 2 hit batters in addition to the 11 walks. So Jason Newman now stepping in. He golfs that one into left field for a base hit. Scoring on the play is Thielander. They're going to hold Pozos at third on the RBI single by Jason Newman. So Newman gets his first RBI, his first base hit of the game. And now everyone in the starting lineup besides Mason Cirillo now has a base hit. So give credit to Newman for an RBI plus a single. Ryan Reynolds now in. And in the last inning, the 6th inning, launched one deep over the center field fence for a grand slam. And certainly going to take his talents to the Big 12 Conference. The 1-0 pitch, and that's outside. And it is 2 balls and no strikes. So Jason Newman with the RBI single. Now Ryan Reynolds trying to add on to that. The 2-0 pitch is a check swing. It's going to cost him a strike, and it's 2-1. So Reynolds overall on the day is 1 for 3. He also walked and scored a run. He's actually 1 for 4. Walked, scored a run. Otherwise, he grounded to first, flew out to left, and popped out to short. So 3 balls, 1 strike, and 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And another run in for the Crabs. That's going to be a chopper to short. Joyce picks it up, throws the first in time to retire Reynolds, and that ends the inning. So the Crabs get 1 run, however, another run to make it 18-4. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. The Crabs lead the Auburn Wildcats 18-4. You're listening to Humble Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. Damn it! And we go to the top of the 8th inning here at the Arcata Ballpark, where the Crabs, they've blown this one open, and I mean open. They have a 12-run lead here in this 8th inning, 18-4. In the game that's featured the Crabs walking 11 times and being hit twice, so it's very much like the game on Friday, in which they walked 15 times and were hit twice. So the Wildcats in this top of the 8th inning will send up Tanner Ingley Holmes. We're actually going to have a pinch hitter. It'll be Luke Noble pinch hitting for Tanner Ingley Holmes in the 9 spot. So 1-0 the count. And the next pitch, that's poked into left field for a base hit. So Noble comes in as a pinch hitter, and he's now 1 for 1 on the evening as he immediately gets himself a base hit, and that'll bring up Sam Lee Curtis. So Sam Lee Curtis, who made an outstanding diving catch out in center field to rob David Hamilton of a bases clearing, possibly triple, at least would have been a double. As Sam Lee Curtis really playing hard throughout the game, regardless of the score, and you got to admire that. Curtis, as the first pitch is a strike and it's 0-1. Curtis comes from Sierra College, so he's a teammate of Aaron Herr of the Crabs. Kevin Calderhead in relief for the Crabs, and that swung on and fouled away at 0-2. So Calderhead getting the call here in this 8th inning. Calderhead comes from Washington State University, much like Jacob Thurber and Mason Cirillo for the Crabs. And the next pitch swung on and fouled away. We'll do it again. It's 0-2. So Kevin Calderhead. And he's got a tough major, and I could never even try to do this. He's interested in studying chemical engineering. Yeah, my brain already hurts just saying those words. The strike 2 pitch is outside. And it swung on and missed. Check swing, and they're going to say, yeah, strike 3. So 1 away as Calderhead gets the strikeout. And that'll bring up Austin Blatnick. Yeah, so Calderhead interested in studying chemical engineering. An interesting note, his Uncle John was a member of the U.S. disabled ski team at the 1992 Paralympic Games. Yeah, the Paralympics, a fantastic event that occurs, 2 weeks after the regular Olympics end for disabled athletes, and his uncle was a member of that. So he's got certainly the athletic genes in his family. So 0-1, 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. And the Crabs lead 18-4. And the first pitch is a bit low. And it's now 1 ball and 1 strike. So Kevin Calderhead, 5'11", 175-pounder, right-hand pitcher, plays for the Wazoo Cougars, as they are called over in Pullman. The 1-1 pitch swung on and hit foul down the left field line, and it's going to carry out of play, and it's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out here for the Auburn Wildcats. They also have a runner on first. That's Luke Noble, who led off as a pinch hitter and got himself a base hit. So Blatnick up. He is 0 for 3. He walked, also grounded to short, grounded to third, struck out. The 1-2 pitch is bit inside, and it's 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out as Calder head on the next pitch. That's popped up in the infield, and going out about 3 steps back onto the outfield grass is the shortstop David Hamilton to make the catch, and that's the second out. So Blatnick pops out, and Ethan Joyce now stepping in. Joyce 1 for 3, popped to first, struck out, walked and singled, but really almost cost his team a run in that last thing. I mean, not like it would have mattered at this point in the game, but still, out of a moment of frustration and being unable to make a play, he slammed the ball down, and again, the ball's always live. That's going to be a one-hopper to the shortstop. Hamilton takes it to the bag himself, and that ends the inning. So Joyce does not really atone for that as he hits a chopper to short, fielder's choice, as it's 6 unassisted on the fielder's choice, and that ends the inning. So the Wildcats get no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They leave 1. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The last time the Crabs will bat this season. We can say that for a certainty, as we highly doubt that the Wildcats will get 14 runs in the top of the 9th. So the last chance for the Crabs to bat here in this 2016 season coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning as they lead the Wildcats 18-4. You're listening to Humble Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning as Reed Fanenstein actually stepping into the box, and I believe this is the first time he has taken at bat. Yes, it is. His first plate appearance of the season as Fanenstein, the pitcher, getting a chance to take some swings here. Fanenstein batting in Logan Bush's spot. And the first pitch, a strike. Next pitch off the plate, 1-1. So 26, Reed Fanenstein. He was the pitcher in the game earlier. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that's swung on and missed, a strike, 1-2. So 1-2. Here's the pitch from VC, and that's grounded foul by Fanenstein. And it's still 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2, and the next pitch. Strike 3 called in the inside corner, and down goes Fanenstein. So his first plate appearance goes as a strikeout. That'll bring up Newt Johnson. So another pitcher's actually coming up, Riley Sweeney. Yeah, they're saying I'll cry because this is my last time with the Crabs. Not quite that. No, only HSU softball got to see me cry, and that's because as the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. The only reason why that happened is because that was my last time broadcasting for a sports department I founded at KRFH on HSU. Not quite as teary-eyed this time, but it's still a bittersweet moment anyway to be here with the Crabs for the last time. That swung on, fouled away. So Riley Sweeney batting in the spot of Newt Johnson. Again, the pitcher's getting a chance to bat. Up by 14 in the bottom of the 8th, really. What else can you do? 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. So the two pitchers, Reed Vandenstein, Riley Sweeney, striking out as, really it's a form of mercy at this point to not inflict any more damage with the bats. So Mason Cirillo up. Mason Cirillo looking for his first base hit, so he gets another chance to go out on a high note. He has walked twice and scored 2 runs, but he doesn't have a base hit. He's 0 for 3 officially. Struck out and grounded to second twice, although, and that ball is going to be lined, caught by Ethan Joyce, so Mason Cirillo doesn't get a hit tonight, but still a pretty decent performance nonetheless, as the Crabs retired in order for the second time this evening. And they go to the top of the 9th, 3 outs to go in the Crabs season as they lead the Auburn Wildcats 18-4 as they're awaiting their second consecutive Humboldt Invitational Tournament championship and are looking to close things off on a high note. Well, that's 18-4 lead. That's about as high note as you can get. And they're awaiting these next 3 outs, and that'll come up right after this. You're listening to Humboldt Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. Alrighty, welcome back to the Arcata Ballpark. The Crabs holding on to an 18-4 lead. So we got 3 outs to go before this season is in the books. As Kevin Calderhead coming into his second inning of relief. As Jack Vesey, who was the DH, now the pitcher for the Auburn Wildcats, and he swings and misses. And it is 0-1. So Vesey on the day is 1 for 3. He walked, doubled, and scored a run, otherwise grounded to first and flew out to center. And the strike 1 pitch, and it is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. It'll be VC, Faulkner, and Field due up here for the Auburn Wildcats as the next ball swung on and missed, and that's going to get Justin Yislas on the mask, and he looks to be okay, shaking up a little bit. Dan Osborne coming in from first base to, actually not, yeah, coming in from first base. At first I thought he was at third, but no, he's at first. And, of course, Dan Osborne the other night, about a week or 2 ago, took 1 hard off the mask and was out for a couple of days because he got his bell rung a little bit. So Dan Osborne, the first base umpire, checking on Justin Yislas, the home plate umpire, took a foul ball off the mask. And it's 0-2. And the next pitch, a little low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch, and it's swung on and missed, and down goes VC. That's quickly 1 out. So Calderhead picks up his second strikeout of the game. So we'll have a short little post game. The Crabs will be giving out awards after the game, so we'll have some of that on, and we'll just recap the Crabs season as a whole. So they look to go 35-15, and they're 2 outs away from doing just that. And that's a strike, and it's 0-1. Yesterday was one of the best teams we'd seen in a while. Went 42-9, and this year's team still pretty successful, 35-15. And this goes to show the type of quality teams that the Crabs are able to put in and year out. The next pitch is going to hit Jake Faulkner. Actually, it's not Jake Faulkner. It's a pinch hitter, Tyler Malone, and Malone gets greeted rather rudely by Calderhead by getting hit by the pitch. So we got another pinch hitter, so Logan Markstein now pinch hitting. So we saw Tyler Malone. And now a pinch hitter. I mean, swings and misses, and it's 0-1. So Logan Markstein, he's a freshman, just finished Sierra College, so that pitch is swung on and missed. Going on the pitch is going to be Tyler Malone. So Malone hit by the pitch, steals second. Yeah, again, giving some good effort, especially since this is the first time we've gotten to see them really at all this tournament. So they're trying to show what they could do here in these last moments of and the next pitch is outside, and it's going to go to the backstop, and going down to third base is Tyler Malone. So we're going to have a short little post-game show. We will wrap up the season, and we'll thank all the people that have been so helpful to me and everyone here at the booth of the Crabs, and all the people who have been really helpful to me just being up here in the summer, as there's a lot of people to thank. And the next pitch is in the dirt. No advancement as it bounced right back to James Outman, so no wild pitch, even though the pitch was wild. It doesn't officially count as a wild pitch, as there was no advancement by the runner. So 1-2 with one out here in the top of the ninth inning. The Crabs up by 14, so the result of the game a foregone conclusion. 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, so Calderhead gets another strikeout, his third of the game, and his second this inning. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Kyle Dixon. So Dixon, 2 for 4. Trying to see maybe if he can give the Wildcats a little life, but again, this game has long since been over. The Auburn Wildcats did have a 2-run lead on 2 different occasions, but each time in the bottom of the inning, the Crabs were able to respond back. The first time they tied it, the second time they took a lead, and haven't looked back ever since. 16 unanswered runs for the Humboldt Crabs since the Wildcats took the lead in the top of the third inning. The 1-1 pitch, that's going to be lined up the middle for base hits, so Dixon sends in the run as Malone scores, and it's now 18-5 in favor of the Crabs. So no quitting this Wildcat team as Mike Phelan up. Mike Phelan is 0 for 3, walked, grounded to first, popped to second, and popped to second again. So Phelan with a runner on first, 2 out as the Crabs trying to close it down here. 18-5 in the top of the ninth. The next pitch is a bit outside, and it's 1-0. And the next pitch, and it's going to be lined into center field for a base hit, and stopping at second is going to be Dixon. So Phelan gets his first base hit of the game. 2 on and 2 out. And now Luke Noble going to come in. He came in as a pinch hitter for Tanner Angley Holman and singled. So he's 1 for 1 on the day. So Luke Noble trying to see if he can get a second hit of the game and extend this game further, although everyone anxious for the final out to be made so the post-game festivities for the end of the season can begin. which would include crowning the tournament winner, the Humboldt Crabs. And again, we could say the Crabs have won the tournament because, I mean, there's no chance with no outs to give that they're going to get 13 runs. But anyway, the pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. It's one of those things where you say, not impossible, but the most improbable thing you'll ever hear if that were to ever happen. So we'll say, yeah, the Crabs are basically the tournament champions. Just mere formality. Calderhead and Luke Noble, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and foul back, so Noble battling his way through this as he's trying to stay alive. 0-2 the count as the Crabs fans stomping their feet on the bleachers to encourage Calderhead to get this last strikeout here. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out in the top of the 9th, 18-5. And here's the pitch. That's going to be a grounder up the middle. Hamilton picks it up. On the run, makes a throw to first, not in time, and it's an infield single for Luke Noble. He's now 2 for 2. And the base is now loaded with 2 out. And back to the top of the order to Sam Lee Curtis. So Sam Lee Curtis up. Again, we got a short post-game show coming up. We'll wrap up the season and thank all the people that need to be thanked. A chopper to short. Hamilton picks it up. On the run, throws to first in time, and the inning is over, or the game is over. The season is over as the Humboldt Crabs are the Humboldt Invitational Tournament champions and finish their year 35-15. And it was yet another successful season of Humboldt Crabs baseball here at the Arcata Ballpark. So the Crabs, 18 runs on 16 hits. They committed 1 error, 5 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Auburn Wildcats. And again, it was a game of walks. The Crabs had drawn quite a few. In fact, they have walked 11 times and been hit twice. And that largely explains the large margin of victory for the Humboldt Crabs, 18-5, as both teams wrapping it up. So we'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back and wrap things up for the season. And again, we have a lot of people we need to thank, so we'll get to that as well. You're listening to Humboldt Crabs Baseball here on AM 1480 KGOE. And for the last time this season, we are hearing the Crabgrass Band provide their entertainment for the crowd as this game has concluded. And really the doubt of the game has long since been erased early in the game as the Crabs ran away with an 18-5 victory over the Auburn Wildcats to claim their second consecutive Humboldt Invitational Tournament championship. So the Humboldt Crabs finished the year 35-15. And I mean, what more can we say about the entertainment this team has provided the community all summer long, and really is one of the best parts about summer in Humboldt County, in my opinion, is Humboldt Crabs baseball. I mean, have a nice day at the river and come and watch a good baseball game. Really, summer in Humboldt, it's one of the best places to be, and the Humboldt Crabs a big part of it, and just such a wonderful organization they have been. At least in my 3 summers. Yeah, I'm done. This is it for me. I'm hoping to maybe move on to a minor league baseball job, minor league baseball broadcasting job, as the Crabs here for 3 years have been incredibly wonderful to me. And I couldn't thank them enough for having me come back for a third summer, working the PA, handling the radio, producing, and then occasionally getting to fill in on play-by-play, as I've gotten lucky enough to do that. So, again, I cannot thank this Humble Crabs organization enough, as the players are all gathering on the field for their last game together. And Vicky Rossi, the president, another person we need to thank, is addressing the crowd. And the post-game festivities about to begin. So the Humble Crabs, really, it didn't seem like they were going to have nearly as successful of a season for the first half. Prior to the road trip that they went on to Healdsburg, San Luis Obispo, and Reading, they had really been struggling a bit, but they caught fire. They lost the first 3 games on the road trip, but then won 4 in a row, dropped a couple of top speed baseball their first weekend back, then reeled off 11 straight wins, and since then it's been a very high winning percentage for the Crabs. 2-3 wins for every loss from there on out, and really turned into yet another successful season on the field. As did the Crabs set the record for home runs? Yes, they did. So the Crabs, with 38 home runs, set the team's all-time record, as we have never seen balls fly out of the yard quite like they have this year. Just goes to show how exciting Crabs baseball has been. And again, we're just so thrilled that we got to be a part of it for another couple of seasons. So Vicky Rossi, the president, her term is up and they're going to elect a new one, but she has done a fantastic job. She was the president for each of my 3 summers and has been wonderful every step of the way. The entire board of directors has just been outstanding as well. As they have really been a key part to the community and keeping Humboldt Crabs baseball going season in and season out each summer. And I'd like to thank my booth people. One, Jake Martin, who was the person I was assisting my first 2 summers, and then when he left, I got to take over directing the booth here for the last year. I'd like to thank him for bringing me along, and then I'd like to thank the rest of my booth mates. Hoke Hokum and Benjamin Schaefer, our banter among those two, as well as the Warners, Tim Warner and Liam Warner. The best part about this job, really, and of course you couldn't hear it on the air, thankfully so, you couldn't hear most of it on the air, but our booth banter is probably one of my favorite parts of this job, and really created a great experience as we all had fun here working in the booth. So my co-workers, my booth mates, whatever you want to call them, it's made it even a better time, as we've had some absolutely fantastic times watching some outstanding Humboldt Crabs baseball.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. And they made my job about 10 times easier, because they got to handle about 2/3 of what I was expecting to handle coming into the summer. It's like, oh, these guys are going to help you with that. All the better. My life is way easier now. Also, there's some people I'd like to thank, not a part of the Crabs, but these are the people that, without whom I would have been homeless much of the summer, as they were more than generous enough to loan me their couch, just let me sleep in their house. Good friends Dominic Nunez, Virginia Bressom, let me stay for a good solid 3 weeks. Brian Cohen, my right-hand man and successor at KRFH, let me crash his place for a little while. John Ferrero, the Lost Coast Outpost, also opening his doors to me, and also whoever hosted me on Airbnb as well. I mean, it's not having a place to live up here made it a difficult thing, but again, some wonderful people in the community. Benjamin Schaefer saying goodbye for the last time as well. I absolutely will. Thank you, as he's saying goodbye for the last time. And again, all the people, I might have forgotten a couple of names, but there's so many people who have been incredibly generous to me in allowing me to come back to work for the Crabs for a 3rd season, and allow me to have a place to live in doing so. And on top of that, giving me a chance to pursue my dream of being a Major League Baseball broadcaster, as I'm hoping to turn this into a minor league job in the future, hopefully next summer. So again, I'd like to thank all my friends who helped me out. I'd like to thank this wonderful Crabs organization, and to thank our wonderful board operators. There were 3 of them, actually 4 if you count the boss, Tom Seaborn. Our current guy, Thalen Hubble, done it out. He's new on the job and has almost been flawless in learning the ropes. So he's done a great job keeping us on the air, making us sound good tonight. Tristan Landay, another guy, actually personally trained him as a board up when I worked briefly at Bicoastal Media. So he did a great job also working the board, keeping us on the air, making it sound good. Nick Dearden, another guy, as well as the boss, Tom Seaborn. Again, the people at Bicoastal Media, thank you once again for another successful season and letting us do what we do here. So for the last time, as a member of the Humboldt Crabs, I'd like to say thanks to both teams, actually all 4 tournament teams, the Solana Mudcats, Alameda Merchants, Auburn Wildcats, and Humboldt Crabs for all their help in letting me give you all this information about them. Speaking for Hulk Holcomb and Benjamin Schaefer, this is Kevin Wyatt saying so long from the Arcata Ballpark, signing off for the final time. And we'll meet again sometime. We'll all meet again sometime. Who knows where I'll be next year, but I'm sure we will all meet again. And until next time, have a pleasant good evening, everybody.